So, welcome to the Great Pad of 2020, in which I pad out my video history with a ton of videos to hide the fact that I ended up reacting to interspecies reviewers, or Ishizoku reviewers, which is a very naughty series that I don't want to see people seeing that I have done. But, yep, so let's just keep that a secret between you and me as I try to pad things out. So basically, what I'm going to do to pad that out is that I am going to, while I am converting my video to MP3 because BitChute doesn't take FLVs, hold on. I mean MP4, dang it, because BitChute doesn't do FLV files. And seriously, why did I always do P4s? But, yep, to pad out my my number of videos, I'm going to need to come up with an idea. So, I am going to list the plots of mecha anime that I have never watched, and some mecha anime that I have watched. So basically, I am going to sum things up based mostly on my knowledge from the Super Robot Wars series, because I haven't fully seen some of these anime, but I'll give you everything I know. I mean, I'm a big Gundam fan, so that's a big one that I know. Oh, so yeah. So I'll start off with all the entries from the first one, but I'm going to do the Gundam ones last because there are a lot of Gundam series. A lot of ones that I'm familiar with too. So, yep. So first of all, let's start with the earliest one. Super Roboto Mazinga Zeto. Aye. So yeah. In Mazinger Z, basically, yeah, I believe it's that. So yeah, basically, the vicious Dr. Hell seeks to conquer the world with his army of robots, and the only one who can stop him is Koji Kabuto in his giant robot Mazinger Z, which was given to him by his grandfather. Alongside him are his allies, Sayaka Yumi in the Aphrodite is implied, sometimes implied, sometimes explicit love interest, and comic relief boss in his joke of an absolute unit that is Boss Borat. Uh, Mazinger Z keeps taking down foe after foe from Dr. Hell's army. Though he's such a on the quest to avenge his on Koji's quest to avenge his grandfather, and or defeating such big foes as his Doctor Hell's greatest minions, Baron Ashura, Doctor Count Brocken, and the Gamias, and yep, there was also the plot line with Minerva X, which I believe the thing was that it was a remote controlled support unit to Mazinger Z, but had to be shut down due to it being taken over by Dr. Hell. Well, but yeah, eventually, after Dr. Hell is defeated and straight up dead, and, and it awakens the wrath of the Mycenae gods, Mycenae gods, I think that's how it's pronounced, which easily defeat Mazinger Z, but in the end, and Great Mazinger shows up, which is where we go into the next series. So, Great Mazinger picks up where things left off from the previous series, from revealing that another Mazinger was created by Koji's father, or Kinzo, who entrusted it to Tetsuya Tsurugi. He joined by another support or another love interest piloting a support robot, that being Jun Hono in the uh, um, Venus A. I think that's the one it was. And yeah, I think there was a part of the plot that involved mass-produced Mozingers, and yeah, and as things go, Tetsuya defeats the Great General of Darkness, you know. And then we get to the plot of, instead of going to the next in the Mazinger trilogy, classic trilogy, let's go to Getter Robo, which was not made by the same creator, contrary to popular belief. So, the story behind that is that it was made by a guy by the name of Ken Ishikawa, who was good friends with Go Nagai, who provides some inspiration for the series. So yeah, basically the story is that dinosaurs have come back to life and or rather they've come back from underground and have brought up an empire which can only be combated by the Getter Robo, due to its magnificent power source, the Getter Rays. It's developed by Professor Saotome, designed to be a three-seater, or made by three small fighter planes combining into a giant robot. It can and it takes the form of a different robot depending on its positioning, on the plane's positioning. So, oh yeah, the pilots are as goes. Goes Ryoma Nagare, the a ridiculous hothead, and, Hayato Jin, the calm and logical former terrorist, and Musashi Tomo, generally the only one who has some amount of sanity in the group. So yeah, at the end of the show, after defeating tons of mooks and bosses from the dinosaur empire, or, Musashi sacrifices himself to blow up the base by literally taking one of the Get machines used to form the Getter Robo and quite literally strapping a bomb to it and and then and and then and once he does that, that he uh, and yeah, he basically goes into the a base of the dinosaur empire, or with the get mach- with one of the Get machines loaded with a bomb on it. And then basically detonates it. And that's how it goes. Then yeah. And then and so yeah, that leads into the next series, Get a Robo G, where there's some new foes abound. I forget who the um they're the um they're the ones with the horns. Horns, they have a cute girl in their ranks, and and they also have the guy who looks suspiciously like Hitler. I am not joking. But seriously, I need. But yeah, they made an upgraded version of Getarobo called Getarobo G. So, Yep, I have a feeling that this is going to be a bit of a pain to do, but I think I've got it. So since I don't have a good way to convert er, FLV to MP4, I have an insane idea. So yeah, basically, so yeah. Also, and to replace Musashi, who is still dead, they got Benkei Kuruma, and yeah, I mean, he still fills the part of the heart, and yep, that's basically how it goes, and I'm pretty sure Benkei lives this timeline. So yeah, now for things I do know about, and that's Gundam. So basically, Mobile Suit Gundam. The Principality of Zeon has declared war with the Earth Federation, and then due to colony drops and nukes being used, the it was half the human population has gone down. So to combat the at Zeon's mobile suits, the Federation launches Operation V, their own project to create mobile suits, and basically that's where they create the Gundam as well as the other scrubs. A 15-year-old Amuro Ray ends up discovering the Gundam and hopping into it to defend himself from two incoming Zaku's, and then ends up launching on the white base ship and is forced into the war to defeat Zeon. And alongside a bunch of other scrubs and I mean I'd say scrubs, but honestly Kai Shiden is not a scrub. He's a pretty cool dude. It would be a guy with a really weird voice in a dub. It sounds like he was euthanized or something. I mean, which is oddly fitting considering his voice actor in the English dub is named Dick Cox. I am not kidding on that. Don't tell don't tell him I called him that though, cuz he'd probably kill me if he found out. But yeah, and then yep, and then there's yep, so after many battles with the infamous this Red Comet of Zeon, Shar Aznable, well, they finally make it to Earth where more stuff Earth where they see a horrifying in speech from the Principality of Zeon's leaders, the Zabi family. He specifically he he the heir to the Zabi family, Giran Zabi, and yeah, but along the way, there, Shar decided to double cross the Zabi's youngest son, Garma, uh, and and led him to his death for reasons yet unexplained. And later on, Amuro makes quite a few foes fighting in the Gundam as Zeon makes more and more units to combat the Gundam's incredible strength and learning computer. And eventually he eventually he defeats a powerful lieutenant by the name of Rambaral, which results in his lover coming to get revenge on him, revenge on Amuro, resulting in the sacrifice of crew member Ryu Oze, who I just kind of skipped over his entire existence. Whoops. Oh dear. Well, yeah, that was poorly thought out in hindsight. Meanwhile, the other two Operation V pilots, Hayato and Kai, they managed to grow as people and the and eventually he, he, he discovered that Amuro has new type powers, basically because he was born in space and is psychic, and he meets a woman named Lala Soon who he's immediately drawn to due to the new type string of fate. Lala being on the enemy side and currently quite possibly in a relationship with Char. Or, or in the final climactic battle, Amuro accidentally kills Lala, who was protecting Char, or and then Char tries to defeat Amuro in revenge, but the match ends with a tie, with both of their mobile suits being destroyed. Alright, alright, but meanwhile, Char has effectively sealed the into the Principality of Zeon, getting revenge for his father, who he believed to have been killed by the Zabi family. Char has effectively manipulated it a good amount of the family to die. A, a, themselves being their own downfall. All with Dozel Zabi going out in battle. Cassilia Zabi, he getting shot by Char himself, and the infamous Giran Zabi having prior been shot by Cassilia. And yeah, basically pieces not completely returned. There's still Zeon remnants and stuff like that. But yeah, it's certainly better than when there's war. Except for if you've seen Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. But I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam set 7 years later, involves it involves all of the Titans, a group of the Earth Federation, have become pretty much the exact same as have become so extreme in their Zeon witch hunts that they have become exactly like them, resulting in the Anti-Earth Union group being established to stop them. Among them is being led by a man by the name of Blex 4, but not really much of him happens because, well, he dies. And then, as resulting in Quattro Bagina, who is obviously not Char Aznable, taking over. And then, and among them is Camille Badon, an amateur mobile suit designer who manages to get into the Gundam Mark II and start piloting it. And alongside a bunch of other guys, is mostly pretty cool. I mean, Apolli's dub voice is really good. Uh, and then things start to go incredibly wrong everywhere. So yeah, Amuro's still under house arrest. It's because because the Federation feared his new type powers. Whereas Camille still has a lot of new type stuff and shenanigans going on. And then he eventually, to replace the to replace the Gundam Mark II, he designs his own Gundam, the Zeta Gundam, which can turn into a Wave Rider mode for it to deploy on its own, and is very fast. Note that at this point, pretty much every mobile suit doesn't focus much on armor and goes all the way up in speed. He'd, eventually he, the the Titans are thrown apart by their constant infighting, and with their leader Jamatov Hyman, yes, that is his last name, and getting killed by a second in a sort of a second in command fellow, the man from Jupiter, Paptimus Sirocco, who then usurps his position as Big Bad. But things go poorly for the Ayug. Somewhere along the way, Camille falls in love with a woman named Ford due to the new type string of fate, but she ends up dying as well. Well, because seriously, this is a Tamino series. Because seriously, what guarantee when a series is made by Yoshiyuki Tomino? What guarantee can you get that the main couple will be safe? Unless it's actually come to think of it, there's a lot of series where the main couple's safe by Tomino. So, yeah, let me just that's the list of series where the main couple is safe, for example. Well, series such as Gundam Double Zeta, which I'll get to in a few moments and minutes, as well as Stardust Memory, Gundam F91, Victory Gundam, Turn A Gundam, Combat Mecha Zabungle, Brain Powered, Overman King Gainer, etc., etc. So yeah, uh, and then everything starts going wrong when the AU are at a huge disadvantage. So, in order to to win the war, they decide to pledge support to ooh the Neo Zeon, a revived Zeon led by a woman known as Haman Karn, and who managed to single-handedly defeat Quattro in battle. Well, meanwhile, everyone starts dying except for the people that don't, which could honestly probably be numbered on one hand. And then Camille kills Sirocco, who uses the last of his powers to turn Camille effectively into a mental potato. And pretty much the only pilot who was introduced in that series, aside from Camille, who is currently said potato, are the ones that show up in the next show, which is Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta, in which our brain dead Camille manages to pass on his new type powers to a hold on, wow, that was fast. I well, how's about that? So, yeah. And then Judo pilots the Double Zeta Gundam to defeat Axis Zeon and one led by Haman Karn. And then, and yup. And then not much happens for the first 20 or so episodes. Until, well, of course, until the Dublin colony drop happens. And so then I managed to kill off Hayato, who survived the original series. And and stuff starts getting real, you know? But that's just how it is. That's just the way it goes. So, that's basically I I'm having trouble with this. Sorry, guys. So yeah, basically, Ijudo finds a new type girl by the name of Elpio Puru, and she dies because why not? That's just how things go in old Tamino land. And then and and Juno manages to psychic Hamon so hard that she kills herself. Yep, that's pretty much what happened. And but yeah, and then Judo and Rue, the new pilot of uh, um the new pilot of the Zeta Gundam, they became an official couple, but Word of God says that they broke up sometime after. And then there's Gundam Char's counterattack. Basically, Char, reeling from the potatoing of Camille, decides to drop on the Axis colony onto Earth, and it's up to Amuro to stop him. And yep, and so Amuro takes up the new Gundam to stop him, and then everyone starts dying. Because that's how things go around there. And yeah, pretty much everyone dies, but Axis is stopped. Yep, so yeah. That's just how it is, and that's the way it goes, so. Yep. Although it is notable for being the series where Amuro pilots a new Gundam, which he pilots in pretty much every Super Robot Wars game. And then there's Mobile Suit Gundam F91. Basically, it's new guy Seabook Arno against uh, a Crossbone Vanguard and those and the Rona Foundation and stuff. And yeah, I don't want to remember that movie. It was seriously a waste of my time. And yeah, that's it for the original. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this bit of padding. And yep, don't let anyone know I reacted to interspecies reviewers.